Welcome to Culture Screen, where we analyze culture. In this episode, we are summarizing the 9th episode from Season 1 of the Wire series titled Game Day. The episode first aired on August 4th, 2002. In the beginning, in order to find high school basketball players to represent them in an upcoming East Side versus West Side basketball game, Stringer Bell and Avon Barksdale go visit a gym to find their players. Following their discussion about a specific player, they talk about the search for Omar Little. Stringer wants to put it on hold until Omar reappears, but Avon insists that they must get to Omar in order to protect their name. Wallace informs D'Angelo that he no longer wants to work as a result of seeing firsthand what happened to Brandon, Omar's partner, and Stinkham, a high-ranking member of the Barksdale crew. D'Angelo grants him permission to go back to school and also offers him some money. Wallace is seen buying narcotics when Pooh goes looking for him. Later on, the speaker from the Narcotics Anonymous meeting, Wallen, is seen by Bubbles and Johnny, but they do not approach him when they see him because they become sidetracked when they see Bodie distributing the free samples of their brand new product. Afterward, when Bubbles follows up with Wallen reveals that he is still sober and has come to the projects in search of his nephew. Wallen says that he wants to persuade his nephew to get his act together. Bubbles is sufficiently motivated by this to convince his sister that he is serious about quitting drugs. His sister helps him by giving him a key to her basement where he can sleep and rest. In another scene, we see Avon making fun of Proposition Joe for attempting to look like a professional basketball coach at their basketball game. Herc and Carver learn from Pooh and Bodie that the rules say whichever team loses must then arrange a party for both crews. Despite their best efforts, Carver and Herc are unable to pinpoint who Avon is from the crowd. When Detective Sidnor arrives at the game, he immediately knows who Avon is after having seen him on the old boxing picture Lester Freeman showed the crew earlier in the investigation. Proposition Joe ends up sneaking a victory over Avon by playing one of his best players later on in the game. One of Proposition Joe's players fouls one of Avon's players, but the referee does not call the foul on behalf of the Barksdale team on time. The rebound then goes to Prop Joe's team, and they end up winning the game seconds after committing the foul. Avon gets furious at the referee for not playing the game as it is meant to be played. As a result of the illegal play, the East Side wins and the West Side has to plan a party for the East Side. Avon walks away extremely upset and threatens Proposition Joe. As we catch up with Omar, we see he continues to search the projects for Avon. He ends up going to Proposition Joe and offers him multiple packs of drugs he stole from Avon's crew in exchange for information on how to reach Avon on the streets. Prop Joe is Avon's main rival so far, and Joe knows that if Avon were to be eliminated, the price he can charge for his drugs would surely go up if Avon were to be taken out. Omar apparently receives a phone and beeper number from Joe to help him lure Avon out onto the street. Avon is later seen that night at Orlando's club. Avon and Weebay are talking inside of Orlando's club, and Weebay heads out to get food. As Weebay walks out, Omar calls Avon's beeper using Weebay's beeper code. Avon reads that Weebay is having an emergency, and he tries to reach out to Weebay by stepping outside to use the payphone on the corner. As Avon makes his second dial, Weebay arrives. Avon turns and notices that Weebay is perfectly fine, and immediately knows something is completely wrong. A split second later, Omar starts firing. Avon ducks and dives behind a car to avoid being hit. After exchanging fire, Weebay hits Omar in his left shoulder, and Omar is forced to retreat. Remember, I am summarizing the entire series, so subscribe and click on the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. I will be reviewing other TV shows and movies in the future as well. Drop a comment below of your favorite scene from this episode. In another scene, as we catch up with the Barksdale detail, we see the surveillance team has continued to pursue Avon. As they are listening to a call, they discover that Weebay is going to transport cash for Avon. Wee-Bey is quickly detained by Herc and Carver, and they inform him that he can pick the money up from the state's attorney's office, but he will have to prove how he obtained the money. Herc and Carver debate whether or not they should steal some of the money themselves, but Carver says that it would not be worth it, especially since the detail was still on the wire. We see that Carver knows if he takes the money, someone may say how much they lost when they detained Wee-Bey on the wire. Carver also feels that the theft would be made public. In a later scene, just as Carver predicted, Lieutenant Daniels learns from the wiretap that $22,000 were confiscated from Wee-Bey, but Carver and Herc only turned in $15,000. Daniels gives them until the next roll call to bring the rest of the money. However, Herc has no idea how this could have happened. Carver looks back as if he does not know either. They rush to the car, and Carver searches for the money in the trunk and finds it in the wheel well. Carver apologizes to Herc for the whole debacle, and they return the money. In another scene, we catch up with McNulty. We see he and Daniels are not seeing eye to eye. Daniels becomes upset when McNulty suggests that they should extend the wiretap a few weeks. McNulty sees Daniels is upset and tells the other detectives that Daniels is in favor of the investigation one day, but the next day he is against it. Detective Freeman tells McNulty that he needs to understand Daniels is in a difficult position between them, the detectives, and his superiors. As we catch up with detectives Sidnor and Prez, we see they are following the money as Lester Freeman instructed them to. They end up learning about large donations from the Barksdales to a number of politicians across Baltimore. They also learn about Avon's front businesses, which include a funeral home, strip club, and other properties that are not in his name. Chardine, a dancer from Orlando's club, is picked up by detectives Kima Greggs and Lester Freeman. They take her to identify Keisha's body. The detectives proceed to convince her to cooperate with them by serving as an informant. After seeing the body, Keisha is shocked and agrees to cooperate with them and leaves D'Angelo's apartment. As D'Angelo and Chardine argue over her leaving so abruptly, D'Angelo asks her for the reason. Keisha tells D'Angelo that she is aware of what happened to Keisha, and D'Angelo is rendered speechless. That was episode number 9, titled Game Day. To watch the next or previous episode summary, click on the link in the description or at the end of this video. If you would like to see our still photos of these episode summaries, make sure to follow us on Instagram. If you can, please support us on Patreon. It really goes a long way toward helping us grow this channel. I will see you on the next one.
And more than the drugs, it's the money that matters.
We upload new videos every week, so subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the like button as well. Click the notification bell to be notified of when we upload these videos. See you on the next episode of Culture Screen.